Welcome to Bite Time class. Today we are going to be working with Turtle. Turtle is a visual application that we can use to show off some of our programming skills and try some new ones. So Turtle here is this little guy. We make him look like a turtle. And in order to do that, first we're going to need a library. Remember, a library is code that we don't have to create. Somebody created for us, and we just need to import it or bring it into our computer. So first, to get this little turtle to show up on your screen, we're going to make one. We have to make a variable. I'm going to call my turtle Bob. I really like Bob the turtle. And then I'm going to call turtle.turtle. This will make a turtle. But you know, the funny part is turtle does not automatically make this turtle shape. In fact, it normally makes a little arrow shape, which is not as exciting or fun looking as a turtle. So I want to change his shape. I want to say, Bob, I want your shape to be a turtle. If I do this and run this code, then I get this up on the screen. So why do I have this statement down here, input? Remember, input is just waiting for us to do something. It keeps this window open for us so we can analyze it and look at it a little bit more. If I go back here to terminal and go ahead and click done, see how the terminal window or the turtle goes away. So Bob right now is just sitting there in the middle of the screen. Really what we'd like him to do is first move. So we can tell Bob to go forward. Okay? Forward is a function, so we have to have these open and closed parentheses, and it does take a single parameter. So the parameter here tells Bob how much forward we'd like him to move. Bob is based on pixels, so remember pixels are really tiny and small. They're kind of like a single pinpoint. So we want him to move enough pixels that we can see. Let's start out by making him move 100. If we save this code, we can go ahead and go back to terminal. Remember, if you want to rerun your program in terminal, you just hit the up key and then hit enter. Look, now Bob moved forward 100 spaces. So 100 pixels. So Bob's pretty smart. He also knows how to turn. Turning is based on degrees. So Bob right now is pointed forward. He moves forward. But if he wants to turn, we have to tell him how many degrees we want him to turn. So remember, 90 degrees is to move up or down one of these lines. We could go all the way to 360. 360 would make him spin around and go the same direction. 180 would make him go backwards. So let's go ahead and make him turn 90 degrees. Well, we also have to tell him which direction. So he's pointed forward like this. We could tell him to turn right, which would be downwards, or we could turn him left, which would be upwards. So let's try right 90 degrees. Bob, though, only does exactly what he's told. So we told him to move forward 100 and right 90. So let's run this code and see if that's what he does. Because he shouldn't move any after he turns right. He should just stop and stay there. So we're going to make him disappear for a minute, and then we're going to run our code again. Make sure you save your code first. Okay, so look, Bob moved forward, and now he turned right. Now he's pointing down. Now that he's there, we can make him move forward again. We could also tell him to go backward. And we could tell him to go 100. Okay? So we're going to save this. Remember, every time we save this and rerun it, it's like it never existed. It erases what we did now, and it starts from line 1 and goes all the way down through line 15. So we're going to click, have him disappear, and now we're going to rerun his code. Okay, so he moved forward, he turned right, and now he moved backwards. So just like right, we could also turn left. So we could say bob.left, and let's try a different angle. Let's try 45, and just to see if it works, we'll say bob.forward 100. Okay? So I've closed his code, I've saved my new code, and now I'm running him again. And I got an error. Look at that, I forgot an R in forward. Remember, always double check your spellings because those simple little syntax errors are really frustrating to all of us, both new programmers and old programmers. And I still made a mistake because I went and made the change, but I didn't hit save. So I'm saving it, and we're gonna run it one more time. Okay, so he moved forward, he turned right, he moved backwards, then he turned left, and now he moved forward another 100. So Bob is really useful. Well, what if, instead of doing these random drawings on the screen, what if I wanted to make a square? How could I make a square? Well, let's think about it. Okay, so Bob starts here, it's a little turtle. Well, he has to move forward, and then I want him to turn right and go down again. And so I'm doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, let's go ahead and type this code since now I've got a visual image of it. So I want him to go forward 100. I want him to turn right 90. Well, I don't want him to go backwards though. I need him to go forward again 100. And then right 90. And then, yep, he has to go forward again. And then right 90. And, well, a triangle has 4 sides, so he has to do it one more time. Okay, so I'm going to save that code and see if I got him to draw a square. Look, he drew a square. You know what though? That code seems a whole lot of code. We've learned already what type of code to use when we do something over and over and over again. Remember, this is called iteration. Iteration is doing something over and over again, and we use a loop control structure. So the loop that we probably want to use now is a for loop, right? Because we know how many times we want Bob to do this. We use a for loop and not a while loop because remember, a while loop is indefinite. It could run as many times as possible, but a for loop runs a specific amount of times. It's a definite loop. Okay, so what do we do over and over? Well, it seems that we go forward and then right, and then forward and then right, and then forward and then right, and then forward. And I could do another right here because remember, he doesn't move, he just turns directions. So instead of doing that over and over again, let's instead clear our screen and put this in a loop. So remember, the basis of this is a for loop, and we want to do something x in range. And how many times we want to do it? 4. It ends with a colon to know we're done with that. And now indentation matters. We want to indent both of these statements that we want done over and over again into our for loop. Okay, let's save this and see if Bob still draws a square. Look at Bob go. He drew a square. So, since he is done now drawing a square, what about other shapes? Could you take this and figure out the angles and the pattern behind something like a square, a star or a triangle? How could you use multiple triangles to draw a star? Try this and see what you can do.